Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to be speaking about some of the common challenges that we face, specifically with us reaching our speaker goals and how it can be solved. So, let me run down a couple of common things that individuals typically say when it comes to reaching their speaking goals. And I would love if you can type a one in the chat wherever you may be watching this, if any of them resonate with you, if they are things that you may have possibly dealt with, if you have heard other speakers state that, if if for whatever reason you may be over that, but at some point you dealt with that. I want to know. Okay, so type one in the chat. So some of the common challenges is one, just getting started. If you've ever felt that you haven't been able to reach your goals because you were clouded by, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start, type a one in the chat. Some individuals deal with the challenge of not knowing how to gain momentum with speaking. So they have some topics, they may have spoken on some stages for quite some time, but they don't know how to gain momentum to keep it sustainable or even to build recurring income through it. Here's another one: having confidence in front of individuals when you're speaking. Type a one in the chat if you've ever dealt with that challenge. Here's another one: finding well-paid speaking gigs. This is another big challenge that happens for most speakers. Turning speaking into income. A challenge is procrastination. Another one is finding gigs, and so forth. Okay, the challenges continue on and on and on. If you've ever experienced any of that, please type a one in the chat. Regardless of what experiences you've dealt with, what challenges you've dealt with, the running theme that I've seen with the clients that I've helped, imposter syndrome is a good one. Another one. Yes. Yes. Such a good one. The other running theme that I have seen when it comes to speakers and the challenges that they face, the ingredient that can help them move forward is clarity. Now, I know, don't come for me. Some of y'all gonna try to come for me and tell me, but Jasmine, is this, is that, is this. Most of my clients, and we have served nearly 100 individuals through all of our programs. Remember, my mission is 1,000. We're going to get that 1,000. But we're almost at 100 right now. And we have served clients with our done for you services. We serve clients with our 101, our group, our DIY programs, our events and master classes. We have served many of them. We have heard people from all different walks of industries. It doesn't matter where they come from. And every single one of them has a lack of clarity. Okay? So what happens is when you have a lack of clarity, even with imposter syndrome, I'm going to use that because that someone was courteous enough to leave me a comment there so I can work off of something. So even with something as simple as imposter syndrome, that isn't really truly simple, okay? It's a multifaceted issue. You need to get clarity on where that stems from for you even to get to the place of breaking through the challenge of imposter syndrome so you can go out there and shine on the stage. There is a root issue to every single challenge that any speaker deals with. And that requires clarity, understanding where the root is, and then what the necessary steps need to be in order to reach your goals. When we put in to our GPS, y'all remember TomToms? Okay, now we have our phones. When we put in to our GPS, we put in the address of where we need to go. Correct? Correct. And what does a GPS do for us? What does a TomTom do for us? It gives us a step by step by step by step by step. Every single point, every turn, every single aspect of our travel is then mapped out. That is what most of us are missing when it comes to our imposter syndrome. This is why we have amazing mindset coaches. When it comes to the structure of our business, the structure of our launches, whatever it is, there's a solution for you for those things. My work, my zone of genius is working with people in taking their expertise and packaging it in a way that will allow them to grow their speaking to the next level, to have it as the actual source of their funnel, of how they're going to get their leads and how they're going to maximize and leverage their intellectual capital and build out content that can continue to build out money for years to come. So when we look at some of these common challenges that face us, whether we don't know where to get started, where to find the paid gigs, or whatever the case may be, a lot of it is a lack of clarity. And some of us aren't willing to admit the work that I've been doing for these couple of months, for these years, for these weeks, it ain't working. I need some help. We don't even have clarity to say, I need help. And so what happens is we start spinning ourselves in this hamster wheel that eventually leads us to the conclusion, to a false story, which is, I'll never be able to make this work. Speaking isn't for me. I'll never be able to make a difference. I'll never be able to make any sort of income at all. Here's my philosophy. I feel like anybody can speak, but not everybody can reach the heart. And so there are systems and structures needed. There is strategy that's involved, okay? That never goes away. You need to be strategic, but you can still make a legacy-driven decision to impact the hearts and transform individuals in your community if you have clarity, if you have a framework, which I built, if you have the steps necessary to kind of navigate that foggy space that you're in. And the scary part of it, of relinquishing and surrendering your control, is that you may not see all the steps ahead of you. Just like if you were driving your car late at night and fog hits, a storm has come, and then if the storm goes away, but then there's this fog. You ever driven in the fog and you have your high beams on, and no matter how high those high beams are, you can't see but a couple of feet, right? Or maybe sometimes it seems like even inches. Sometimes in business, that's what it's like. And so when I've had to invest in programs, even for myself, I've invested in high 5-figure programs, okay? Mid 5-figure programs. When I am investing in myself and as I am growing in my own business, I've had to surrender. I had to surrender. I had to allow someone to provide me some sort of guidance, just like that GPS, give me some steps to follow. And then from there, I'm able to get the clarity on what will best fit my life, my desires. And then I'm able to execute. It saves me so much grief and so much headache and money, right? Because I am now in a place where I have clarity and therefore I can take massive action. Some of y'all have been in my DMs. A lot of y'all watch my stuff and don't be commenting. Okay. I saw that 300 plus people views of the post that I did of my amazing experience with my client, Kristen Carver Smith. And how many people? Maybe 30 people, liked it. But I've been getting some DMs, and the DMs have been like, man, Jasmine, I see you out there. You're in your flow. Someone said that to me today. You're doing great. You're doing amazing. It's so inspiring. My answer to you is, one, I surrendered. Okay. I invested in myself and I got clarity. Therefore, I'm able to take what? Massive action. So if your speaking is stalled right now, my friend, I'm going to tell you to grab a mirror and take a look at who's looking back at you. Start there first, okay? Start there first. and figure out what blocks, possibly what false stories you're telling yourself, what myths need to be busted so that you can gain the clarity to move forward. So I've created the Legacy Speaker Challenge to help individuals who are at the kind of new mid stage where you may have done a couple of speaking here and there. You may not have even gotten started, but by the time you're done with me, honey, we're going to be clear. We're going to be absolutely clear what steps you need to take next. What is it? So for anyone that's worked with me, I'll tell you this much. I got checklists galore. Okay. I am completely structured in my expertise. I treat it just like how I did when I was in the classroom, teaching all those years. Why? Because at the end of any of my work, when I was working with my students, we had student learning outcomes. We had to achieve those outcomes because everybody had their lens on us. The accrediting bodies that were giving us the accreditation needed to be able to carry on with the program. There was all these checks and balances to make sure that the students were successful. Now, some of them did not make it, right? But if everyone failed, we know that there's a problem with the program. I take that same concept in all of the work that I create. And when I look at my work, I look at what can I create? What system can I create? What structure can I create to help my clients get a win? And a small win is enough to push you forward. And that is exactly what the Legacy Speaker Challenge is about. And it's free 99, y'all. So if you know you need to build more confidence in understanding what your topic and your audience is so you can get out there and pitch your heart out, this is the event for you. And it's happening next week, September 6th through the 9th. Go ahead and put in the chat, what's your expertise? Who knows who's looking, right? Leverage this free little discussion today if you want to, right? But September 6th through 9th, I would love to know what your expertise is. Join this challenge. It is free. And every single day from the September 6th through the 9th, I'm going to show up live with structured content that I've created and have this discussion with you so that you can get the clarity you need to start or begin to build momentum again with your topic. I don't care where you've been, if you got an accent, your hair is straight, you got an afro. I don't care if you are just new in business. Everybody's got a story to tell. Everybody has something that can impact somebody else. There's somebody waiting to hear your story. How do I know that? Because even me, from Jamaica, Queens, New York City, I have an accent. Sometimes I don't say my words right. Sometimes I don't even type correctly what I'm actually thinking. My mind is moving so fast. I remember my first email I sent, and somebody that I knew that was in healthcare was like, you spell so-and-so wrong. And I was devastated. Now that I think about it, I was like, that heifer. Okay. I was like, later for you. I'm up here trying to make some coins, okay? You weren't about is the place this way or that way. But anyway, whatevs. So anyway, when we look at just the journey that I have been on, I haven't allowed that to stop me because a lot of where I'm thinking, where I'm at is legacy driven. After losing my mom, it was a wrap for me. I knew that we don't have enough time, as much time as we think we do, to go out there and pursue what we desire. And unfortunately, we have seen countless of times things happen that we don't have control over. And so at the end of the day, as I'm also demonstrating to my children who are watching me, I don't want to live with regrets. That's it. What you see, how you see me showing up is I don't live with regrets. And just even earlier this year, I realized I was getting a little too comfortable. I wasn't showing up. I wasn't being visible. One of the stories I told myself before I decided to niche down into speaking consulting, although I built an entire business, on speaking and events, I still felt inadequate for niching down into speaking consulting. And I said to myself, I said, Jasmine, will someone take you seriously as a woman of color? Because when you look at speaker consultants, most of them do not look like me. I would say like over 90% of them don't look like me. But we have some other BIPOC speaking consultants out there. So shout out to them, right? But most of them don't. And because I had tried one time and got someone nickel and diming me for $500, look at my programs now. One time someone gave me a hard time, and then I saw them purchase from someone that was of a certain ethnicity, of the majority, right? I said, oh man, they nickel and dime me for like $500 and they paid $3,000, $4,000 for this other person. Who am I fooling? And I kept that narrative, y'all. And I tried to make my business work with a completely different work that I'm doing right now. I tried to make it work. I paid $10,000 to go into a coaching program, and it was fabulous. And I tried to make this business work that wasn't related to speaker and consulting. And guess what? Failed launches. Failed launch number 1, failed launch number 2. Oh, I went back for more. Failed launch number 3. I went back for some more. Okay. And I realized then, I had my come to Jesus moment, that what is this false story I'm telling myself? What's happening? I'm not in alignment. This person is saying to me, when a client would come in, when they would come in for consulting for business, they would say to me, Jasmine, can you look at this abstract? Can you help me with this title, course description? They were coming to me for speaking, right? Under the guise of my regular business consulting. They wanted speaking help. And yet I was still like, no, I'm not going to do it. So why am I telling you this little bit of story about me? Is that I refused to move forward in the direction that was necessary for me to make the challenge, to make my goals come to fruition. And so I allowed the challenge, limiting beliefs, the imposter syndrome, all of that prevent me from moving forward. And what happened? Failure after failure after failure in business. I had to stop for a second, take that mirror, turn it towards me, and really ask myself some really hard questions. And so I tested it out. I said, okay, this ain't working. I'm going to move forward. I've been given some clarity, some guidance, which is what my Legacy Speaker Challenge is offering you. I have a little bit of clarity here. These are some of the whispers I've gotten from God on where I needed to be. And I'm going to move forward in this direction. I'm scared. I don't know if anyone's going to really listen to me. I don't know if anyone's going to take me seriously. But if I can get one person to join my speaker consulting program, I know that this is what you have for me. Ooh. I didn't mean to go this direction, but this is what's on my heart. That said program now has 7 people in it. Now, a year later. 7. So I'm telling y'all, if you know that there is a calling for you, whatever you see fit, it may not even be speaking. You may be listening to this because we happen to be biz friends. If you know that there is a calling for you, sometimes you just need to move forward, even through that fear. And don't allow your own limiting beliefs to prevent you in showing up in the places that you constantly keep hearing whispers, this is where you need to be. And I'm getting emotional because this is the heart methodology, baby. Okay. Whenever you speak, you need to be able to tell stories and you need to be connected to it. I am connected to it. It is a part of who I am, the work that I do. It has to move me in order to move y'all, right? Woo! Because I can ugly cry out here in these streets, okay? But I'm sharing this for you all to understand. This is a business lesson. This is a life lesson. This is a speaking lesson. The common challenges that we often face are hindered by our lack of clarity and our lack of accepting our part and why we may not be where we need to be. And I'll leave you with this. Once you figure out, okay, this is the next step I need to take. The biggest gift I was ever given from a coach that I work with from almost 5 years. I'm going to shout out Jessica Rodriguez. She's my boo. The biggest gift that she ever gave me was the ability to hone into the skill of trusting my intuition and looking at everything that I encounter through a lens of, is this aligned with me? Does it feel good? Is this aligned with my goals? That took some time. So maybe when you look at the Legacy Speaker Challenge and you may say, yeah, I want to do a speaking, but you know what? This message of legacy driven doesn't resonate with me. Don't let me guilt trip you. See, go somewhere else. I ain't for you. Okay? I'm not pressed. Because at the end of the day, whatever you choose, wherever you move forward, once you have that clarity, it needs to feel aligned. It needs to feel good. You may still be a little scared, but it needs to feel good to you. So I hope that through this discussion today, I was going to come on here for like literally 5-6 minutes, but I was moved to talk about this important aspect. I see your comments, I see the messages, I see what you place. I am taking it all in. I'm looking at how can I better serve each of you that are meant to be in my legacy scalar container. Either way, I'm gonna have fun and I love every aspect of it. So if you are interested in spending some more time with me, this is just a smidge of a taste of what it's like to work with me. Of course, the best is when we have our workshops, you know what I'm saying? Or in my full program. But if you want to spend some more time with me, join me September 6th through the 9th. It's 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's free. LegacySpeakerChallenge.com. And I will see y'all later. Bye.